3 more minutes.
Okay. Work session.
Okay. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Joanna's ready. Joanna's ready? Okay, perfect. Is Reverend Chuck Surbeck here? I didn't. No, so we don't have a
what?
Reverend. He's not here, so we don't have. Okay.
Okay.
I just.
It was the weather, maybe? I don't know, I didn't get anything.
It's awfully windy outside, so I can only imagine. Okay, so we will move forward then. All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the regular session for January 16th, 2024. It is 7:08. I'd like to call this meeting to order. May I have roll call, please?
Mayor Orndorff?
Here.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Here.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Here.
Commissioner Watson?
Here.
Commissioner Romanek?
Here.
Okay, I don't see our Reverend here, so we're just going to ask everybody to stand for the salute of the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, no. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, was advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor. After the closed session, we added a resolution to authorize a settlement agreement with Tiffany Arrowood in the amount of $282,500. And that was it.
All right, perfect, thank you.
Oh,
sorry?
I'm sorry. We actually did. We removed resolution
other-
item 6.
Yep.
Thanks, Brock. Which is awarding the professional service contract with W.E. Johnson Engineering. So that was the second item.
In an amount not to exceed $351,000.
Correct, thank you. No presentations this evening, correct?
Correct.
To the bills?
Make a motion to pay the bills. Second motion.
Motion and a second to pay the bills. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Make a motion to approve and dispense with the reading of the following minutes and to proceed with the regular order of business. November 21st, 2023 closed session, November 19th, 2023 closed session, December 29th, 2023 end of the year meeting.
Second motion.
I have a motion second to approve and dispense minutes from the meetings that were just read off by Vice Mayor. Comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Public comment on agenda items only. If you have a question or concern about an agenda item, please come to the podium, state your name, those concerns, and please limit those comments to 5 minutes.
Good evening, Tim Cardy. First off, I want to say the room looks beautiful. It's actually a lot brighter in here with the new paint job. I got a couple questions on Resolution 10 for the $240 annual trash fee. My first question is, when are we going to be receiving our bills for this?
We were waiting to pass this in resolution to get the final amount. The bill should be sent out very soon.
Okay, so you're looking at towards the end of January, maybe February then?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay, so are you going to give residents like a 1-month grace period to begin paying, since a lot of people has already budgeted their money for February?
No, I believe we're going to be sticking at the $240 for the year.
No, what I'm talking about, to pay the bill,
First payment.
first payment. Or are we just doing a yearly payment, we're not doing quarterly payments like what's been mentioned
No, I
before?
believe it's quarterly.
Okay, so when the bill comes out, you're going to give the residents a 1-month grace period so they can add that in their budget, because I'm sure the people that are getting their payments at the beginning of the month already has their February bills figured out.
On the stub, it'll have a date that the bill is due by. I don't believe we took an account to put on like an extra month for people to, like if it's due in, say, March, I mean, I don't think there's anything on there that's saying that it's going to be pushed off another month to give them a grace period.
Well, what I'm saying is if it's due in February, maybe we should push it off for another month because we're towards the end of January now, and you got people that are on fixed incomes that have that money that they get on the 1st or the 3rd already budgeted for February. So that way, if you give them a grace period for February and they don't have the money, you're making interest off of them. I mean, there should be a leeway here because you're doing this at the end of January and everybody's budgeting their money for February. Even myself, my money's already spent. I know I get paid this Friday.
Right.
I know the beginning of February, my bills are due here. And I'm already budgeting for my next payment in the middle of the month. That's what I'm trying to say. You just can't give somebody a bill towards the end of January or in the beginning of February and say it needs to be due on this certain date, and their money's already spent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, these bills should be going out very soon. Like I said, it just took a little bit while to, get the correct amount. There was a lot of things that went into it as far as, making sure that we had the right amount of people. I think there's like 9,300 people that has to go out to. Obviously, once it passed a resolution, we could have it at the $240,000 amount or $240 amount for the year. Now, as far as when it's due, I haven't seen a stub yet, and I don't really have an exact date. It was supposed to be sent out like it was supposed to be sent out mid-January, which we're already here, so it got pushed back maybe like a week or two. These should be going out very soon. The last
Okay.
I spoke to Tracy, maybe this Friday, maybe next Friday. I think it's within the next week or so. As far as having an extra month, I don't think it's been talked about. It hasn't been discussed, but I don't have an exact date for you when the first payment is going to be due. I can get back to you once I find that answer out.
Well, I
But
think
I believe it's quarterly, and I believe
Right.
it's March.
I just think it's fair because you got people that's already budgeting their February bills.
Right.
And now you're going to throw a quarter bill of $60 on top of that, and they might not have the money, and it might extend the grace period. So now you're charging them interest on something that's out of their control because of the failure of not taking into consideration that people that budget their money are on fixed incomes.
All right, I understand what you're saying, but
That's what I'm trying to get at. I mean, it's in consideration for the people that budget their money.
right. Yeah, I completely understand what you're saying, but I don't think it's going to be adjusted.
And maybe you can let somebody know, hey, why don't we extend it to March so we can give the people the opportunity? I mean, that's consideration.
Yeah.
My other question, the $240 under the ACUA contract, and I have the contract. It says the ACUA reserves the right to increase the annual contract amount when the collection route is increased by 50 or more homes as compared to the prior contract year collection route. This adjustment may occur annually on the contract year basis. The annual cost will increase based on the current cost per household of $110.73. So if the ACUA is only going to charge us an extra $110.73 per household that's over 50, then how do we come up with the 240?
Because that's not including tipping fees
Okay.
or any of the, salary of the people that are working on this utility.
And how many people are working on this utility?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. You have the recycling coordinator. You have Tracy, Gregoire. I don't know how that's going to be separated or how it's going to be paid out, but there's several employees that are working with this utility.
Now, can't the recycling coordinator, since his title is recycling coordinator, be taken out of the clean community money?
We are taking $100,000 from recycling that we get and putting it into this.
Put it towards his salary.
Correct. Put it in towards the utility.
Okay. But I was just trying to figure out the salary because I know under clean communities that the recycling coordinator could be paid out of that.
He already is.
Right. I know. But thank you.
You're asking, so I'm answering.
I know, and I appreciate it.
And also in that $240 for the year, there's also a capital for improvement. Or like, so basically, if we need something down the road to help out the utility, there's money aside that we have that we can use.
Okay. That's all.
Good evening, Patricia Kears, 409 Peach Drive. On the ordinance's first reading, 18-1, what is the current range for the municipal administrator? The salary range? Do I need to open that, Mr. Suey?
For the municipal administrator, I only have the part-time amount, and that was minimum 6,000, maximum of a little over 72,000.
Thank you. Do you have that same information for zoning officer?
Zoning officer. The previous was actually a $1,500 minimum and a $5,500 maximum. And I don't know why it's hourly now. To tell you the truth.
Okay, thank you. The roll-off truck for the, ordinance reading number 3, I'm sorry, capital ordinance providing for the purchase of a new roll-off truck. Will that be used in the sewer department?
I believe so. It was when I initially was involved with the pilot study that happened probably 9 or 10 years ago. It was talk about having our own roll-off truck. Also, our using a new dewatering system. That's how long ago the dewatering was up and running. It was a pilot study done probably 10 years ago. There was talks about doing our own roll-off, and that was to first off have availability to take it to other places, because right now it's AC Way is where we send it to get incinerated, our sludge.
Okay,
The roll-off truck would actually have a substantial return on investment over time. It'll save on the cost that it would take, or that ACOA
so
charges.
you're
us.
hauling your
Correct,
own?
hauling costs, yeah.
Yeah, that makes
exactly.
sense.
Thank you for
Right.
clarifying that.
What I was able to find with that piggybacks on it. This was back when we did the change with the sludge and everything to be able to move it ourselves.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then resolution number 8, for the urban enterprise zone grant funds that Millville has to pay the extra. Is Vineland putting anything in for that also? Is it going up for both Vineland and Millville?
Hold on, I'm trying to look over. And yeah, anything that Millville does, Vineland has to do. I would have to
Vineland
look
has
at
to
the
do
actual.
too?
hold on, let me
Okay.
pull it up.
Yeah, don't know that.
I thought that was our, where's it at? Sorry, I'm just pulling it up in the
Oh,
agenda
that's
to
okay.
pull the,
While you're doing that, Commissioner Watson, I would like to thank you for asking the questions that I had written down during the work session. You did them much more knowledgeably and more eloquently than I ever could have. Thank you.
No worries.
sorry, I'm just trying to get it to, amending grant fund. I think that, if I'm correct, resolution authorizing amended at 21.
It's just for the city side. Mayor, it's just for the city side. It's not for Vineland side.
That's just for us, but I'm wondering, hold on, I'm trying to understand why it was done.
So just Millville puts it in, not Vineland?
No,
for this?
we're trying to figure out what the Vineland side is, but
Oh,
it just
okay.
has our
I'd have
number.
to
We can
email
find this information
Nilsa
out.
to find out what Vineland's would be.
Okay,
I'll put an email to Nilsa this month.
all right, thank you.
I think that was just a change in what we were getting. Seeing nobody else, will close the public comment on agenda items only, go to petitions and letters.
Okay, I just need a motion to receive and file a letter from Mayor Orndorff appointing Larry Malone as a member of the UEZ Development Corporation to fill the unexpired term of Bob Connor, with the said term expiring March 1st, 2024.
Make a motion.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second on receiving and file item number 1. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romano?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries. I just need a motion to receive and file a letter from Mayor Orndorff appointing Robert Campbell to fill the unexpired term of the previous zoning officer to serve as a new Class 2 member. of the Planning Board as the mayoral appointment with the term expiring December 1st, 2025.
Make a motion?
Second motion.
Motion second on item number 2. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Sorry. We're going on to reports of commissioners. Commissioner Romanek.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Good evening, all. Thank you for attending, and next, for those that are watching. Zoning Board of Adjustments, next meeting is Thursday, February 1st at 6 o'clock. Planning Board will happen on February 12th at 6:30. Updates for the 5th floor. The movement of offices have been completed, and this is to help improve the customer service. I still get confused even when I walk up there now, because they have moved, and it is all for the better. Mailing has been sent out to the landlords for lead registration of all rental properties built prior to 1978. That is all that I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Hewitt.
Yes, I'd like to start with a motion to receive and file the fire and police reports for the month of December of 2023. Make a motion.
Second
Second
motion.
motion.
A motion and second to receive and file fire, police, and EMS reports for December 2023. Comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries.
The other thing I have for comments at this time is our new ladder truck is now in New Jersey. It's at Fire Services Corporation, having any final touch-ups and stuff done. And looks like we'll probably have it here in town next week. That's all, Mayor.
Very excited. Thank you. Commissioner Watson.
Yes, I do have the mid-January report for 2024. 312 tons of loose leaves were collected in January. Loose leaf collection has ended for the season. Residents may continue to put them in bags out for collection. Come April, loose leaf collection will begin again. They must be placed out the last 2 weeks of March for April's collection. The city of Millville, wind and rain over the past couple weeks has caused flooding, down trees throughout the city. As a result, streets and roads, we're out clearing trees, clearing the roadways, and trying to clear catch basins. Obviously, some areas are uncontrollable. Unfortunately, streams and culverts were overflowing. And in some areas, like I said, there's almost nothing we can do about it. Streets and roads will continue to clean and clear basins before any storm to try to keep flooding at a minimal. The Streets and Roads Department will also do a one-time round of brush collection because of the storms. Start putting it out this week. Brush collection will begin on Monday, January 22nd, 2024, for the storm cleanup. The snowstorm we received Monday evening started a little bit earlier than expected. But the Streets and Roads Department, they were prepared. They started putting salt down out through the evening, and they again spread salt Tuesday morning. If anybody has any questions or concerns, please contact Streets and Roads, 825-7000, extension 7388. And thank you to Streets and Roads out there in the cold, out there in unfavorable conditions, working hard and trying to make sure that we have a safe way to get to work and back home. Thank you, guys. That's all I have.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
First thing is the discussion on the DRBA lease. So we decided, for members of the general public know, the lease is expiring in 5 years, and we need to tell the DRBA what we're going to do. So at the work session, we discussed, and we came to a consensus to have a closed session meeting at the next regular meeting date. Next, I need to receive and file the tax collector's report for the month of December 2023. Make that motion.
Second motion.
Motion and second to receive and file the tax collector's report for December 2023. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries.
So also, I want to give you an engineering update. This is the projects that engineering is currently working on. The High Street downtown sidewalk improvements, the wastewater treatment plant, third secondary clear, Mill Yard Riverfront Walk, walking trail problem areas. Some of you noticed that the walking trail was closed by the Department of Recreation. That's because some of the trail is washing into the river due to all the rain. New Jersey stormwater management changes, all the regulations are changing with that, and we have to come into compliance with all that. 10th Street Improvement Grant. The next phase of Four Seasons, which is a development that's going to add, I forget how many hundreds of houses out at Four Seasons. The airport stormwater basin. We discussed this also somewhat in the work session concerning the runoff from the airport. On the airport side, there's a 54-inch pipe that basically 40 acres of water goes through and then comes on city property. So we had asked the DRBA to help us with that because it's coming off of the airport proper, the part that they lease. They have declined to do so, saying that problem's been there since 1945. And they are correct, it's been there that long, so that it was our problem, which I can kind of understand. So we're actually working on the plans, and CME is starting those plans now. You'll recall we passed a $100,000 bond to do stormwater improvements. That's part of that bond. That cost is going to be approximately $20,000 for just the design phase. Pleasant Drive milling and paving grant, Island Avenue Force Main Pump Station, Woodland Avenue water main improvements, Laurel Lake system, water system, and road paving. That should be going out to bid soon or finishing up the bid specs on that. The obvious roof problems with the fire department, the police, and City Hall buildings. Columbia Avenue, Riverside Drive paving, that's in the closeout phase, so once the project's done, you still have to submit a bunch of paperwork to the state and make sure you get paid. Solids dewatering, Nab Avenue extension in conjunction with the county. Paving and water services on Buck Street from Broad Street to Main Street. Citywide water meter upgrades. GIS infrastructure, that's for water and sewer. GIS, a geographical system that we put on the map so we know where all the pipes are, so it's a lot easier to find than poke and hope when you're digging a hole. Grass cutting contract, which is a new landscaping contract. South Jersey Transportation, Office High Street and Wheaton Avenue and 3rd Street paving. 15th Street subdivision. For those that don't know, we have 2 buildings at 15th Street. We have an office building and bays for our maintenance, and we have a warehouse. We have had substantial interest in people purchasing the warehouse because it has rail access. It has its own side rail right there on the property. So we are subdividing it in order that we can possibly sell one without selling the other. State project, Route 49 bridge and sewer main. The sewer main currently runs under the bridge. They want to stick it under the river. State project 47 bridge over the Morris River. And the daily city drainage issues and citizens' concern, such as Mr. Watson mentioned with these storm drains and sewer drains, there are a lot of places that we can't do anything about it. But there are places that we can, so we're working on those. And with that, progress.
Thank you. Let's see. After last commission meeting, the Parks Department put signs and fencing up at Waltman Park, warning people not to sled down Brenda Hill. We are working with streets and roads and engineering departments to get to the bottom of the flooding issues as well as at Waltman Park. We've been working with the New Jersey Juvenile Justice Commission to get areas throughout City Hall painted. They completed the first floor hallways in November and December and are currently working in the chambers. As you guys can all see here, we have newly painted walls. Upcoming events, our next city event will be a new event this year, a royalty party, which will be held on Saturday, February 3rd. Registration is required and spots are filling up quickly. Children must be ages 5 to 12 years old. We did get a question if boys were allowed, so absolutely. Your prince is allowed to attend as well. But I know the office was very busy getting calls registering, so please make sure you get a call to get a spot. Over the next 2 months, we are going to be holding our very first pet photo contest, so we're very excited about this new contest. These are the rules. The photo must be 4x6 up to 8x12, black and white or color, no digital enhancements, please. Must be framed, 1 entry per person, and it must be a Millville resident. All entries must be submitted by February 23rd. We look forward to seeing all your furry friends. We have our annual Snowflake Plunge, and that is going to be taking place on Saturday, February 17th at Union Lake Beach, 12 o'clock noon. So mark your calendars to be freezing for a reason. We are raising funds for Make-A-Wish New Jersey and Fox Chase Research Center this year. Also, the walking club starts back up tonight. However, due to the weather, it was canceled. So didn't edit those notes before I got here. So please join the fun on Tuesdays and Thursday nights at Lakeside School from 6:30 to 7:30. If school is not open, there is not a walking club. So just keep a note on that. If we don't have it updated on our website, I'm sure the school also has that updated as well. They put everything on Facebook and their website and Instagram as well. If you should have any questions of these events, please be sure to contact Millville Recreation Department 856-825-7000, extension 7394. And I just want to thank our department and everybody who's been dealing with the past couple storms we've had and the inclement weather. I know our Parks Department came out this evening to salt and extra heavy salting as it is cold and wet, and I'm sure it's going to freeze. So everybody leaving tonight, please be careful. Moving on. Ordinances under the second reading, we have none, correct?
All right.
Okay, on to the first, ordinances under the first reading, please.
Okay, we have an ordinance amending the salary ordinance for the following administration titles. To add municipal administrator with a minimum of $70,000, a maximum of $135,000. And to remove the title municipal administrator part-time with a minimum of $6,000 and a maximum of $70,000.
Move the ordinance on first reading.
Second motion.
A motion second on ordinance item number 1. Any comments?
Yes, traditionally, the administrator here was always a part-time position. When Mr. Thompson was here, he went along with the city clerk. Right, that right, they were, yeah. And when Mr. Comperi here, he was part-time administrator, part-time economic development. Our current administrator is our administrator. Right now, he's handling the business administrator job on the 5th floor, which will shortly, I believe, Mr. Ron, that we talked about this, and you want to hire somebody full-time up there as well.
Correct.
This city is big enough that it needs a full-time administrator. The part-time stuff is great, but in this case, we need a full-time administrator. We have several hundred employees, several hundred things going on, and we need somebody to run the daily operation. So, hence this move.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 2 is an ordinance amending the salary ordinance for the following Council 18 title, zoning officer part-time with a minimum of $18 an hour and a maximum of $40 an hour.
Move the ordinance on first reading.
Second motion.
I have a motion second on ordinance item number 2. Any comments?
Yes, this is driven by a desire to keep costs to the taxpayers lower. We applied for and civil service approved. Again, thank you, Mr. Romnick, to save some money here so that we could make the zoning officer part-time rather than full-time.
Correct.
I have roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 3 is a capital ordinance providing for the purchase of a new roll-off truck and related equipment by the city of Millville, appropriating $253,000.
Make a motion on reading item number 3.
Second the ordinance on first reading.
I have a motion and a second on ordinance item number 3. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 4 is an ordinance authorizing amendment to motor vehicle and traffic regulations, Municipal Code Article 10, Schedule 21, to add parking reserved for handicapped persons at 252 West Broad Street.
Make motion.
Second the motion.
I have a motion second on ordinance item number 4. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 5 is a bond ordinance appropriating $11 million and authorizing the issuance of up to $11 million aggregate principal amount, general obligation bonds or notes of the City of Millville for the third secondary clarifier addition project at the city's wastewater treatment plant.
Move the ordinance on first reading.
Second motion.
A motion second on item number 5. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Abstain.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 6 is an ordinance amending ordinance number 44-2023, which created a new solid waste utility to correct typographical errors.
Make a motion on ordinance first reading, item number 6.
Second motion.
Motion second on ordinance item number 6. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Consent agenda items, please.
Alrighty, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the Board of Commissioners and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a governing body member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Item 1 is a resolution appointing Tracy Gregoire as the Solid Waste Utilities Collector for a one-year term expiring December 31st, 2024. Item 2 is a resolution appointing Joseph Couchy as Fund Commissioner and Pamela Shapiro as alternate Fund Commissioner to the Atlantic County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund. Item 3 is a resolution authorizing adjustments to the tax and utility records. And I just need a motion to approve these items.
I make a motion to approve all items on the consent agenda.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second on approving all consent agenda items. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Resolutions, please.
Okay. Item 1 is a resolution awarding a professional service contract appointing McManaman, Scotland and Bauman LLC as environmental attorney through a fair and open process and an amount not to exceed $100,000 for a one-year term.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
I have certification of funds here, so I'm going to do it. Yeah, in the amount of $100,000 signed by the CFO, Susan Quinones.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second on resolution item number 1. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 2 is a resolution awarding a professional services contract appointing W.E. Johnson Engineering as city engineer through a non-fair and open process in an amount of $125 per hour, not to exceed $200,000 for a one-year term.
Move the resolution, and I have certification of funds, which I will break down by department. There's $95,000 for engineering, $40,000 for the pumping station, $40,000 for sewer operations, $5,000 for the New Jersey DOT Route 49 Bridge Utility Agreement, and $20,000 for miscellaneous project escrows, for a total amount of $200,000 signed by the CFO, Susan Quinones.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second on resolution item number 2. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 3 is a resolution authorizing an agreement between the City of Millville and Pyrotechnico to conduct a public fireworks display at Union Lake Park on July 4, 2024, in the amount of $17,500. Doing this early.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
gotta
it is.
book them.
I make a motion on resolution item number 3 for the upcoming 4th of July fireworks in January. And with that, Mayor, I do have a certification of funds. Thank you. Yes, it's resolution item number 3, certification of funds, for the amount of $17,500, signed by our Chief Financial Officer, Susan Quinones.
Second motion.
A motion second on resolution item number 3. Yes, Sam did not wanted to make sure that we had fireworks for this year, so she wanted to get on that. And she also made sure we didn't get an increase, so we are good to go on that one. Should be another awesome show this year. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 4 is a resolution authorizing an electronic tax sale service agreement between the City of Millville and RealAuction.com for services as issued by ROK Industries Incorporated for administrative agent for services related to the electronic tax sale to be held on March 13th, 2024.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
A motion and second on resolution item number 4. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Resolution item 5 is a resolution awarding a professional services contract appointing Triad Associates as CDBG advisor through a fair and open process in an amount not to exceed $30,000 for a one-year term.
I make a motion on resolution item number 5, and with that, Mayor, I have the certification of funds in the amount of $30,000 signed by our Chief Financial Officer, Susan Quinones.
Second
Aye.
motion.
I have a motion and a second on resolution item number 5. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 6 was removed from the agenda, so item 7 is a resolution authorizing the city to purchase a 2006 Chevy Impala and 2009 Chevy Silverado utility truck by the County of Cumberland in the amount not to exceed $300, $100 for the Impala, and $200 for the utility truck.
Make a motion on resolution item number 7. And with that, I do have the certification of availability of funds in the amount of $300 signed by our Chief Financial Officer, Susan Quinones.
Second the motion.
I have a motion and second on resolution item number 7. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 8 is a resolution amending Resolution Number 346-2023, authorizing an additional amount of $2,813 for an amended total of $21,631 in Urban Enterprise Zone grant funds to be provided to the Millville Vineland Enterprise Zone Development Corporation for the July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
Move the resolution on item number 8, and with that, I have certification of funds in the amount of $2,813 signed by our Chief Financial Officer.
Second motion.
I have a motion and second on resolution item number 8. Any comments?
Yes. It's UEZ, right? Yeah. Well,
This
wait.
was just the
No,
additional
go ahead.
ad, Mrs. Kears. That was an additional add to ours. I thought when I was looking at it real quick, it was like taking out, but it was actually them giving us more of an additional fee, and it was just for us. That's not, we're not splitting that with Vineland. If that was your question, if we were splitting the amount of 2813 with Vineland? Okay, no, I believe that is just for us.
So, as you know, the UEZ's been back, we've had it back for a while, so during the course, it's a joint zone. It's a Millville and Vineland joint zone. So we have the Hollis City Development Corporation, which is our consultant for the UEZ, which submits our plans to the Millville Vineland UEZ board for approval to go to the state. On the Millville Vineland UEZ, there's a paid employee. So this is our share, basically, of that salary. Vineland pays more than we do because their UEZ
Is larger.
is larger.
I think I just wrote it down, like our fee, we're getting like, what, $1,811 this year, I think it was.
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 9 is a resolution rescinding Resolution Number 307-2023, which found 229 Smith Street to be a dangerous, damaged, or unfit structure.
Move the resolution on item number 9.
Second motion.
And motion second on resolution number 9. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 10 is a resolution setting a $240 annual fee designated as the solid waste service charge per dwelling unit for the collection and disposal of eligible solid waste, including designated recyclable materials, for the term of January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024.
Make a motion on resolution item number 10.
Second the motion.
I have a motion and a second on resolution item number 10. Any comments?
Yes, because there was the delay, I've been notified that whatever the minimum number of days they have to give from the date of notice, is when the tax bill would be due. I do not know the amount of time, but I can follow up on that to make sure what the date is. That's all I have.
If I can just comment, I know this was not an easy decision to make. I think that was the lesser of two evils. And I would just appreciate Commissioner Watson, you and your department doing all the work, as well as the Vice Mayor, and just everybody's input on this. It was not easy, but unfortunately, it's something that we have to do. And I don't want to have to take my trash to the dump, so
Let
we
me
go.
make a comment if I can.
go right ahead.
So we were faced with three options with this. We could pay reimbursement to the apartment complexes, which would have been somewhere between $360,000 and $480,000 a year, which would have increased everyone's taxes. The second option was to form a trash utility. We thought that was the best option. The third option was to make our own pickup for trash and not use the ACUA. The ACUA wasn't capable of handling the additional workload. For us to form our own pickup would have incurred cost of buying trucks, cost of hiring additional personnel, and would have been very substantial, millions and millions of dollars. So nobody wants to do this. This is driven by laws that we have no control over. There's things we can control up here, and there are things we can't. And Mr. Watson did a lot of work on this, and I really appreciate the amount of work that he did on this. So that's the reason we did it. And as Mr. Cardy mentioned and Mr. Watson answered, the fee includes the tipping fees. There was some confusion as to why it was $240 instead of $120, I guess. So that's the main reason. There's over $1 million in tipping fees every year. I don't think we had any choice to do this, any real choice. This was really the only choice we had. And Streets and Roads did a great job of heading up this process and making it happen. And the reason I'm supporting it is because it's the best choice out of the choices that we have.
Agree. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 11 is a resolution awarding a contract to Polydyne Incorporated, 1 Chemical Plant Road, Riceboro, Georgia, through a fair and open process to supply polymer for the sewer department in the amount not to exceed $138,600 for 1 year commencing January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024.
Move the resolution in somewhere. Yeah, I have certification of funds in the amount of $138,600 signed by the CFO, Susan Quinones.
Second motion.
A motion, second on resolution, item number 11. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 12 is a resolution adopting the 2024 City of Millville Employee Manual.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
Motion, second on resolution, item number 12. Any comments?
Yes, previously our policies were scattered all over everywhere. So this does two things. This allows us to change employee policies by resolution rather than by ordinance, which saves us a reading and saves us a lot of money with publishing as well. We had it scheduled before. We had to reschedule it to make sure that proper notice was given to the unions. And I would suggest that each department require their employees to sign for the policy manual so that there's no misunderstanding between employees and management as to what the actual policies for the employees are. That's it.
Are we allowed? I guess I can ask that later. Sorry. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 13 is a resolution approving towing operator's license application for the period covering January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025 for the following applicant, A1 Towing, Landis Avenue, Norman, New Jersey.
Make the motion.
Second motion.
A motion, second on resolution, item number 13. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item 14 is a resolution authorizing the execution of an amendment to the amended and restated redevelopment agreement for the property identified as a portion of Block 125.03, Lot 11, in the James R. Hurley Industrial Park redevelopment area with Agriterra LLC.
Make a motion on resolution item number 14.
Second motion.
Motion second on resolution item number 14. Any comments?
Yes. So Agriterra is a processing as well as a storage facility for what they process. We've had a redevelopment agreement with them. What they would like to do is begin, they want to have closing at the end of the month and begin construction on the cold storage part. So without starting, and they will build the processing part later. I would recommend that we do this. It's best for their business model. I think it's best for us. That's about all I got on that one.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The last item is a resolution to award a settlement agreement with Tiffany Arrowwood in the amount of $282,500.
Make a motion on resolution item number 15.
Second motion.
My motion is second on resolution item number 15. Any comments?
Yes. So this was due to alleged incidents that happened under the last commission. Additionally, the last commission failed to do an investigation when certain allegations were made. So I believe the wisest course is to make the settlement, because I think it would only be worse if we did. And I don't usually think that we should make settlements with any employees who suing the city. But sometimes you have to make an exception.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sui?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Romanek?
Yes.
Mayor Orndorff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
No new business, correct?
That's correct, Mayor.
Good thing I have most of this memorized because I can barely say it on here. We need new ink. We've now reached the public comment portion of the meeting. If anyone would like to address the commission, please come to the podium, state your name, your concerns, and please limit those comments to approximately 5 minutes.
Good evening, Tim Cardy. Real quick, I didn't have this as a comment or a question, but with the trash trucks, why are we looking to purchase in city vehicles? Why aren't we looking at an option of leasing them and including the mechanical repairs in the leasing?
What is he doing?
Instead of just going out bonding the trucks? Because Commissioner Sui said we'd have to buy trash trucks. So why don't we?
Trash truck.
We're
not
not
buying
buying
any
trash
trash.
trucks.
No, what I'm saying is, instead of us buying city vehicles from now on and doing bonds and spending a ton of money, why aren't we looking at the leasing option that other municipalities in our state does to save the money?
Ongoing.
If I may, so
This is a
when I was in office
suggestion.
before, we did look into leasing vehicles. You're talking in general, right?
Right, correct.
And it
Cars,
really
yeah.
didn't save any money. So we're not bonding for vehicles. With this one we are, but like normal vehicles, like police vehicles, because this vehicle will last at least as long as the bond before it's paid off. Police vehicles, you know, we're lucky we get a few years out of them, right? So you don't wanna-
Sometimes a few months.
Right. So you don't really want to bond something for 5 or 10
Right.
years that you can't
What I'm
use.
saying is, instead of purchasing them, why don't we look into the leasing?
I think we have looked
We
into the
have.
leasing. The issue was with that is the amount that you're leasing them for, over the amount of time, you're actually spending more money in the leasing than you are just to buy them out. So basically, it's like you're leasing a regular car. You lease a car, say $400
Right.
a month. At the end of the 3 years, you have to give that car back and have nothing to show for it. So the amount that we were going to spend per year, which I do not remember what it was, over the time that we would have had to purchase new vehicles and say that they were going to last 5 years, that would be. Am I explaining that right? I mean,
Yeah, it's
I think so.
It would cost us
yeah,
more.
yeah, I think so. I think I'm explaining that right, but yeah.
I'm
so
just wondering
basically it would
because I
cost
know
more.
Mount
And we wouldn't have-
Laurel and Cherry Hill and all them guys, they do leasing.
Yeah,
That's
some
why
o-
I'm
some
asking
o-
the question.
Some other communities do, but when we analyze it,
It didn't pan out.
some
right?
stuff it makes sense to bond for, some stuff. it
Okay.
doesn't.
I believe there's Violins doing both. They purchased trucks and
Yes.
they've also leased
Nice.
vehicles. And I think that had something to do with the availability of the vehicles and the cost of the vehicles and the way they tied it in. For us, it didn't make sense.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious because I know everybody's into the lease now, especially municipal governments.
Yeah.
And I know the state's actually starting to get into it also.
What the conclusion was is the money that we would spend for the leasing per year, we wouldn't have anything to show for it at the end of that time. It made more sense if we were to have to go that route to purchase the vehicles.
Okay, thank you. My other question, with the trash contract with the ACUA, since the city's picking up the bulk waste now, and since the ACUA was under contract for, they will provide containers for the collection and removal of all the garbage, trash, recyclable materials, and other matter of material from the village estates every Tuesday, and from Riverview and Woodview condominiums every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And they were also under contract for the weekly 2 bulk items. And since we're under agreement for the 5 years, I was wondering if we were going to renegotiate that contract since we're paying for that yearly, and since the city's doing the bulk waste and the ACUA is not, and the ACUA isn't doing the village estates and the 2 condominiums, I was wondering if we're going to renegotiate that price to a lower amount.
No, actually, the ACUA had a correspondence with us that increased the cost for the services they were providing. Now, the issue is what you're saying. I think we answered it a few times already. Us doing the bulk collection and working with the ACUA is in the attempts to keep them here and working with us. We're trying to make that relationship work so they extend it past the 2025 or 2025 year.
Okay,
For another
because,
5-year term.
Correct.
well, actually in
And-
the contract it says for 1 more if the ACUA is willing. Because I was just curious because, like you just said, the ACUA increased their price for that stuff, but yet they're under contract for the price on a yearly every 5 years, and the price is spelled out in that contract. I was just wondering how they charge them more when they're already under the contract. And I don't have to.
Under the contract, there is a provision that allows them to increase their costs.
Yes, give me 1 second. Yeah, the contract says, in addition, this contract makes no allowances for changes in labor and wage rates, fuel and energy adjustments, or other factors outside the framework and duration of this contract not specified elsewhere within this contract. And it says, the city of Millville cannot allow any provisions to contractual changes for legislative decisions that in the future may affect the method or manner for residents' trash and recycling collections within the state of New Jersey. As such, both the ACUA and the city of Millville will make every effort to carry out the terms of this contract within the provisions set forth by the existing shared services agreement and effort in effect in the state of New Jersey. So technically under contract, this contract makes no allowances for changes in labor, wage, fuel, energy adjustments, or other factors outside the framework.
I think it does allow them to charge us for that. I'll be happy to discuss it with you if you'd
It says it
like.
right here in black and white.
Well,
No allowances.
let me have the contract, and I'll be happy to talk to you about it.
Here you go.
Well, that's 1 page.
I got the whole contract.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to read it now, but
Okay,
I'll be happy to
I'm sure we
review it with
can
you.
do that another time. I mean, that's, okay.
Actually, I need that back. And then I keep hearing we're trying to make the ACU happy so they can keep the contract with us.
Mr. Cardy, I know you've emailed us a bunch of
This
questions.
is a whole different
and
question.
Give me 1 second to, I try to limit everybody to that 5 December. I try to go a little bit over. I feel like a lot of the questions have been redundant, and I feel that if you would like to speak to Mr. Watson in regards to this, he'd be happy to answer any of the questions that you have.
Anything that you send me an email, I will go through. I will sit down with our department. I'll reach out to the people I have to get you the correct answer. I do it a little bit better than that way. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows I get a little nervous speaking up here. So anything you have, you could send me, and I will answer you in a good amount of time.
I just need this one question because I haven't asked this question.
I'm okay if you're okay, Mayor.
That's up to you if you'd like to answer. Thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
But I keep hearing we're trying to make the ACU happy and to keep a good working relationship with them. Are we going to do the same with other contractors? Example, like the landscapers. And we say, we pay you the same, but the city will do all the edging and weed whacking to keep them happy.
Well, there's a bigger difference. I think there's a lot more landscapers out there than there is people to come around and collect our trash. And I think that's the main issue and why we're working with the ACUAs, because there's not a lot of options.
Okay, because I just don't want to come back here and see a contract for a landscape company or a contract for this guy and be the same excuse over and over, and we're paying a high contract price and they're getting paid less work.
I understand, but there's different variables you have to consider.
Right, especially my tax dollars, and we're laying off people and everything else. And we're looking at tax increases, and I haven't seen nothing about a refund of taxes out of the budget.
Now
from
we're getting
doing this
farther
way.
into the question that you were asking. Thank you. Okay, seeing nobody else, will close the public comment for this evening. Any comments, closing comments of commissioners? Commissioner Romnick?
Nothing at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Watson?
Yeah, a little personal, I guess you would say, but this weekend I went over to my grandma's house and just sitting there talking to her, and she made a comment about her trash. And I said, well, my mom, you're going to get a new trash bill. And she was definitely not happy with me when I had to explain it. So believe me, I know the impacts, and you know, everybody's they're on a certain income, so I wasn't really happy with this either. But you know, it's justified. You know, with everything that was laid out in front of you, this was the best decision, as the vice mayor said. So that's all I have.
I think we've all gotten questions from residents, families and friends, and just residents that are concerned. And I've had a number of people reach out and said that, you know, I'm not happy with this. However, the decision that you've made as a commission is the best. So we've gotten the feedback from other residents that say, yeah, I'm not happy with it. And I go, agree, I'm not happy with it either. But it is the best decision. So again, thank you for your department and everybody that worked on that. Commissioner Hewitt?
Yes, thank you. I'm going to just touch base on what happened to me recently that ties right into the bulk pickup. I had to go buy a new dryer. So naturally, we all have wives or husbands. You don't just buy a dryer, you buy a matching set, washer and dryer. I had to go to 3 places to ensure that they were going to take away that washer. Because personally, yes, I'm going to pay that $240 every year, just like everybody else is. But personally, I'm not, whether I was paying it or it was being picked up for free, I'm not letting a washer and dryer, and now evidently a dishwasher in the next week or so, sit in my backyard. Whoever's going to sell me that, they're going to make sure they take it away. But the end game, the end of this situation is I'm still going to be paying that tax fee also. It's just,
It's not
I
a
understand
tax.
it.
Please stop saying that. You're confusing residents. It's not a tax.
Well, I'm still going to be paying that trash fee.
Thank you.
But that's just the way I look at it. Unfortunately, we are all in the same boat together is what I'm saying. And that's all.
Thank you.
So I'll address one thing that I think you were getting at the end, Mr. Carter, that I wanted to address anyway. So you mentioned that you didn't see a decrease in your taxes because the trash utility is now coming out. And that has about somewhere between a 12 and 13 cent effect on your tax rate per 100. So we're doing the budget now. We don't know precisely where those numbers are going to land yet. I'm certainly guessing that the bills this year are going to be more than the bills last year, if nothing else, due to contractual raises, step raises, increase in health cost benefits. You see us trying to offset some of those costs. You mentioned the layoff. The layoff was to make the zoning officer part-time rather than full-time. So that's some of the stuff that we do to try to control those costs. So whatever the difference is, I will attempt to give that back to the taxpayers. In other words, it might be 7 cents, it might be 6 cents, it might be 5 cents, I don't know where it's at yet. But to me, the taxpayers deserve that money back. We shouldn't just stick it in the bank and use it for something else. I made that pledge to Mr. Lane when he was here. I think I will have the other support of my commissioners, you know, our commissioner, when we do that. I certainly hope so. You know, there's no intent to make an extra grab for money is what I'm getting at. So I hope that answers your final statement. Progress.
Thank you. Thank you again for all coming out this evening. Please be careful leaving. I'm sure again it is rather cold and icy out this evening, so please be careful on your travels home. And we will see everybody in a couple weeks, the 6th.